From Lagos, Nigeria, this is News Central. I'm Felicity Ezewike. Top stories tonight. Resident doctors in the Federal Capital Territory embark on 3-day warning strike over unpaid salary and allowances. Wife of former Nigerian Deputy Senate President Beatrice Ekweremadu released from UK prison after serving term for organ trafficking conviction. Death toll in deadly flooding and landslides in Indonesia rises to 21.
In business, with a 50% tariff hike on the table, FCCPC demands better service from telecom operators.
And in sport, Lewis Hamilton makes his long-awaited debut in Ferrari after ending his 12-year association with Mercedes. Details in a moment.
Tonight begins now. Thank you for joining us. The Association of Resident Doctors in the Federal Capital Territory Administration has embarked on a 3-day warning strike over unpaid salaries, among other demands. President of the association, Dr. George Ebong, said the strike followed the expiration of the 3-week ultimatum issued last year. The association had issued a 21-day ultimatum to the FCT Minister, Nyesom Wike, on December 23, 2024, to meet its demands. Dr. Ebong, who was speaking at a press briefing in Abuja on behalf of the resident doctors, lamented the neglect of hospitals and doctors' welfare in the nation's capital. We'll be having a chat on that before the bulletin is over. Let's bring you for now one of our headline stories tonight. Beatrice Ekweremadu, wife of former Deputy Senate President, Senator Beatrice Ekweremadu, has been released from the United Kingdom's prison. Beatrice, who was sentenced to 5 years in the UK prison, returned to the country on Tuesday. She is said to be currently in Abuja. Ekweremadu, his wife and a doctor were convicted of organ trafficking by a UK court in March 2023. After a 6-week trial at the Old Bailey, they were found guilty of facilitating the travel of a young man to Britain with a view to his exploitation. While Ekweremadu was later sentenced to 9 years and 8 months in prison, his wife bagged 4 years and 6 months jail term. The Nigeria Labour Congress has blamed the frequent grid collapse in the country on what it described as incompetence of the Minister of Power and National Electricity Regulatory Commission, while also rejecting the proposed use of 8 billion naira, to sensitize consumers on how to pay electricity bill. The NLC demanded a comprehensive audit of the entire power sector budget and others to unearth other potential avenues for corruption and financial recklessness. In a statement signed by the President, Joe Ajero, the Labour movement challenged the Power Minister to tell Nigerians how much dividend the ministry has received from discos and other privatized entities since the last 12 years of privatization in lieu of its 40% ownership of the privatized entities. Now, in the meantime, hundreds of University of Ibadan students have protested the ongoing 82-day power outage at the University College Hospital in Ibadan. The hospital, a training center for UI medical students, has been without electricity since March 2024 due to unpaid bills. The Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company, IBEDC, cut power to the school in March and again in November 2023, citing debt. Despite this, power has not been restored. Led by the president of the Students' Union, Bolaji Aweda, The students voiced their dissatisfaction with the situation. However, emphasized that the prolonged outage has directly affected students, noting that IBEDC has demanded payment before restoring power to the hospital.
So we are here to protest against the persistent blackout in University College Hospital that has affected and crumbled the education of our students, our fellow students in University College Hospital and by extension University of Ibadan. So the blackout has lingered for over 82 days now, and for over 2 months there has been no light at University College Hospital, which has affected the livelihood of our students. People cannot function normally. You understand what you need light for, especially for students who need to study and do a whole lot of things. So the lack of electricity here is why we're out on the street today. Yes, we have reached out to the school management severally, and it's a kind of power play between the University College management and then the University of Ibadan management. It's a joint business, and there are a whole lot of things to do with it. Schools in Nigeria who are currently facing the same blackout. Yes. Number two, the implementation of the 50% discount of tariff announced by the Ministry of Power last year in August. And number three, the reform of the health sector in Nigeria.
In the education sector, the Deputy Speaker of the Nigeria's House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, has reiterated the commitment of the nation's parliament to improving education in Nigeria. The Deputy Speaker, while receiving a delegation from the University of Calabar, emphasized the critical role of education in nation building and highlighted his commitment to fostering academic excellence.
As we approach the 50th anniversary of our great university, I'm reminded of the incredible legacy of excellence, incredible legacy of achievement that has defined UNICOR over the years. I'm proud to have been shaped by this institution, and I'm committed to continuing to partner with UNICOR to advance the cause of education in Nigeria.
Just last week, the acting dean of Faculty of Law sent me a text that he was here to see you, and they presented a lot of problems, including the fact that they are not too sure of the accreditation of the program. And you picked up that challenge and said they should send a list, a comprehensive list for the accreditation, and they are actually working on that. Again, I want to say thank you so much, Your Excellency, for always coming to our aid and supporting your alma mater, the one, the school you are very proud of, just the way we are also very proud of you.
Let's go back quickly to our earlier story on the 3-day warning strike that's been embarked upon by resident doctors in the Federal Capital Territory. To discuss that, we're joined by Dr. Francis Okwalubi, Vice President of the Association of Resident Doctors, FCTA. He joins me now from Abuja. Thank you for giving us your time. Quickly, let's clarify. The strike is by the Association of Resident Doctors in the employ of the FCT administration and not nationwide, right?
Yes, thank you very much, viewers. Yes, the strike is embarked upon by the Association of Resident Doctors, FCTA, that is Federal Capital Territory Administration. That comprises all the doctors that are under the employ of the FCT, all the general hospitals, and there are 14 general hospitals.
Okay, I just needed to clarify that before I go ahead and ask what the update is. You gave the federal government, the FCT authorities, 21 days to react to your demands. Has there been any kind of interaction in the 21 days that you gave?
Yes, thank you. We have, during this period of 21 days, we have had a series of engagements with the different officials of the our management, from the Director General, even up to the head of service, the Monday Secretary. So we've held a series of meetings, concerning our demands, which was the reason why we embarked on this 3 days warning strike. But up till now, it is only one of our demands that I can categorically say that they have started attending to. So that is the reason for the strike. So most of our demands, which are actually 9 in number, have not actually received, the attention it demands for the doctors that cater for lives in the Federal Capital Territory.
So which of these demands, you said they are only working on one. Which of them are they working on? Is it the salaries, the 5-month salaries?
Okay, right now, the issue of the 6 months is even up to 6 months salary arrears owed to a good number of our members have not actually been attended to as we speak. Yes, there have been promises from the management concerning this, but we've not seen meaningful progress being made because most of these are our members, they have suffered, they worked for 6 months without being paid their salaries. That is disheartening. Somebody in these economic times to work for 6 months without being paid.
All right.
But the one that has been attended to is the medical residency training fund, which some members have started getting, but not everyone.
Okay, we're time constrained, so I'll just go ahead and ask this last one. Strike seems to be the only language, unfortunately, that the government listens to when it comes to issues like this. But sometimes the listening doesn't always translate to productive response. What would be your next steps if they don't respond positively to your demands in the next 3 days? Would you, call up the warning strike for a dialogue if they ask you, or you want more concrete action?
Okay, so right now, we are guided by our Congress. So after the warning strike, because warning strike should be able to give them our management time to be able to make a reappraisal and try to work on these demands. If that is not done, we'll get back to our Congress because we usually have emergency Congress meetings at times like this. So when we have our meetings, the Congress should be able to give us a position on if we're going to either give them more time to try to attend to these demands or we're going to resort to, a timeless shutdown.
Dr. Opalobi, thank you for speaking with us, and we do hope that the government will do the needful for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming up, National Assembly members accuse Ministry of Regional Development of lopsidedness in 2024 budget. More on this after the break. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. Let's remind you some of our top stories tonight. Resident doctors in the Federal Capital Territory embark on 3-day warning strike over unpaid salaries and allowances. Wife of former Nigerian Deputy Senate President Beatrice Ekweremadu released from UK prison after serving term for organ trafficking conviction. Death toll in deadly flooding and landslides in Indonesia rises to 21. Telecommunications giant MTN has unveiled its Go Make a Difference campaign, also known as the Go Mad campaign. The company has partnered with Nigerian chess champion and founder of Chess in Slums Africa, Tunde Onakoya, to demonstrate that, like Tunde, with MTN data, you can overcome challenges and achieve greatness on a global scale. News Center's Bernard Akede reports. apologize for the poor audio quality. We'll try and bring you that report subsequently. We can tell you that members of Nigeria's National Assembly have accused the nation's Ministry of Regional Development of lopsidedness in the implementation of its 2024 budget. Lawmakers say that the ministry violated Nigeria's federal character obligations by concentrating over 70% of its developmental projects in Edo State, the home state of the minister. Our correspondent Idong Joseph has more on this.
The session commenced with the presentation of the 2024 budget performance of the Ministry of Regional Development before lawmakers. The minister informed the lawmakers that a total of 20 billion naira was allocated in 2024. However, only 2 billion naira was provided for regional intervention. He says that the amounts earmarked to address the developmental needs of 5 regional development commissions was inadequate.
By the time we took over, the first assignment I gave to the infrastructural development to go around to give us details of ongoing projects. But it's quite amazing if I let you know that even projects that had a balance of about 5 billion, 2 billion to complete, by the time they brought proposal, they run into 50 billion.
Some lawmakers raised concerns over details of the 2024 budget performance, alleging that Edo State, the home state of the minister, got the lion's share in the project executed.
If you are from Edo, what is the federal character? What does the federal character say about these budgets, especially as it relates to all the regions that make up the Niger Delta affairs?
Almost about 70% of this budget 2025 is created in Edo State.
1 minute. Court order, please. Point of order.
Mr. Chairman, the essence of it is that we cannot be here elected by the constituents and speak on this budget.
Following this allegation of bias against the ministry, the committee then resolved into a closed-door session to interface more over the concerns.
There must be equal and proportionate distribution of projects across the various zones.
The creation of the Ministry of Regional Development is a recognition that development must not be restricted to one region alone.
The Ministry of Regional Development, formerly the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs, proposed a sum of 28.9 billion naira, comprising 24 billion naira for capital projects, 2.7 billion naira for personnel costs, and 1.6 billion naira for recurrent expenditures for the 2025 fiscal year. In Abuja for News Central, I am Idong Joseph.
Approved a 50% increase in telecommunications tariffs, marking the first adjustment since 2013. According to the Commission, the decision comes in as a response to rising operational costs faced by telecom operators. My colleague Bettina Uweli tells us more.
The Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, has stated that the adjustment aims to address the significant gap between operational costs and current tariffs while ensuring that service delivery is not compromised. Telecom companies had initially requested a 100% tariff hike. However, the NCC settled on a 50% increase to balance industry sustainability with consumer affordability. This move is expected to enable operators to invest in infrastructure and innovation, improving network quality, customer service, and coverage for consumers, but Lagosians feel the timing is wrong.
It's not done everywhere. At least we can see the developed country. We can see what is happening there, but not now. This is Nigeria. They have to eat. In fact, some family they have anything since morning, since yesterday also.
And the say as at now, Nigeria is not on the right side for them to increase any tariff as at now. People are in hardship for now. So I think that if they want to increase this thing, the economies must be balanced first of all.
By the time it's been increased by 50%, really, I can tell you it won't be nice, it won't be fair.
This tariff adjustment follows a series of economic challenges in Nigeria, including rising inflation rates. In November 2024, the Central Bank of Nigeria raised its benchmark lending rate by 25 basis points to 27.50%, marking the sixth consecutive rate hike of the year in an effort to combat persistent inflationary pressures.
The government, is making the argument that they have done Nigerians a favor by not increasing it by 100% and increasing it radically to 50%. I think that is insensitive. I think that the government has continuously, acted in such a manner that it looks as though that they are the ones leading themselves. So if it is people-centric, the government would have continued to engage the people and adopted a strategy where they are increasing it gradually.
While operators are also required to demonstrate measurable improvements in service delivery as part of the adjustments, the Commission has reaffirmed its commitment to fostering a resilient and inclusive telecommunications sector that protects consumers while ensuring the industry's sustainability. In Lagos, for News Central, I am Bettina Nwili.
Many thanks, Bettina. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, says that the federal government has invested about 300 billion naira in providing infrastructure for residents of satellite communities in Abuja. The minister made this known as he commissioned a road constructed in the Gwagwalada Area Council of Abuja within a span of 12 months. News Center's correspondent Amadine Uyi reports.
Scenes of joy from the Paikon Kore and Ibwa area of the federal capital. While the FCT administration gave details of the newly constructed road, others in attendance commended the administration for delivering on its promise to residents.
Clearance and earthwork, reinforced concrete pipes and culverts of different sizes, reinforced concrete trapezoidal line drains, 150 millimeter thick lateritic sub-base, 150 millimeter thick crushed stone base.
Visitors to this area will attest to the fact that the review hope agenda of this administration is very much alive and being sustained.
You can't have this kind of road and want to stay to continue to struggle in the federal capital, Abuja city, where there's a lot of traffic, where there's a lot of congestion, even as the minister is doing so much to make life easy for the people.
The minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, urged the residents to continue to be patient with the current administration.
Are you happy with Mr. President? Are you happy with Mr. President? Now, I can tell you, just relax. You will see what more projects Mr. President will bring to the people of Gwagwalada.
He took time to give highlights of several other projects being constructed, saying the administration has invested considerably well in infrastructure in the satellite communities in line with its promises to citizens.
We have completed and we are still innovating 5 secondary schools in Gwagwalada. 1, the school for the gifted. 2, government secondary school, Gwagwalada. 3, GSS Anagada. 4, GSS Tungamaji. 5, GSS Giri. The total value for this 16.5 billion. If you now add the 6 area councils, just take this as the base, because this is the list of all the area councils. So you will see that in a year, Mr. President has committed to the development of satellite towns not less than 300 billion naira.
The Paikon Kore Ibwa Road is the 3rd project commissioned by the minister in the last 3 days. In Abuja for News Central, I am Amadine Uyi.
Nigeria's Minister of Aviation, Festus Keyamo, has expressed dissatisfaction with reports of an inflated cost of 532 billion naira for the second runway at Abuja's Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. Keyamo confirmed that the government had budgeted 90 billion naira for the project, asserting that proper oversight is essential to avoid financial mismanagement. The minister, who appeared before the Joint Committee on Aviation for 2025 Budget Defense, emphasized the need for transparency and accountability in project financing, rejecting any claims of such an exaggerated cost. Keyamo also justified the federal government's decision to decentralize the Nigerian College of Aviation Technology by splitting it into 6 campuses across Nigeria's geopolitical zones.
We have to invite fresh bids because they cannot hold us to ransom. No contractor like that. It's a responsible contract. This is the committee oversighting us. They will chop my neck off if I come back and tell the committee that I approved how much. No, I will not. 500 from 90 billion to 532 billion within a space of 2 years to do the second runway. I will not accept it. Right now.
We're on a short break. We'll return with more top stories. Stay with us. As President Donald Trump cracks down on immigrants in the U.S. illegally, some families are wondering if it is safe to send their children to school. In many districts, educators have sought to reassure immigrant parents that schools are safe places for their children, despite the president's campaign pledge to carry out mass deportations. But fears intensified for some when the Trump administration announced on Tuesday it would allow federal immigration agencies to make arrests at schools, churches, and hospitals, ending a policy that has been in effect since 2011. Joining me now to discuss President Trump's new decree on immigrants is Dr. Silva Izozo. She is co-chair, Africa Diaspora Foundation, and she joins me from California. Good to have you on News Central. What are the potential consequences for immigrant families and their children who may be affected by these raids?
Let me just correct my title. My name is Sylvia Letana Izozo, and I'm the chair for the African Diaspora Foundation based out of California. Yes, you know, what is happening here is just a travesty. When we were voting, we knew what President Trump had threatened to do, or rather promised us he would do. So why now is everybody crying foul? Because he told us what he was going to do in the beginning. As much as this is really devastating to a lot of immigrant families, a lot of children are going to be misplaced. A lot of husbands, wives separated, because there's no guarantee that when they get you, they're going to allocate you to a place where they know your family is. They just take you wherever the buses go. A lot of children are going to be out of schools. And this is really a detriment to, and very unfair to these children's lives, because they didn't ask to be born here, or they didn't ask to be born off of what we call, quote unquote, illegal immigrants. It's a travesty for most of us, because I'm an immigrant myself from Zambia. I've been in the United States for 40 years. And I've seen what immigration does to devastate families. I've known personal people who have been deported. Their children stay here because one parent maybe is American and the wife is illegal, or vice versa. Now, choice is, where are these children going? Are they staying in the US, or are they leaving with the mother to whatever country it is? There's so much fear, so much fear among our people. And by the way, it's not only the blacks. We have other nationalities too that are illegal immigrants in the United States. So right now, some of the organizations or associations have put certain things in place to say, know your rights. In other words, if you are stopped by immigration, there are certain things that they will ask you to do that you don't have to do. So if you have an encounter with the police, for example, right now, or what we call ICE, right? ICE, capital ICE. Don't panic. Go ahead.
All right, let's talk about the access to education. There's already fear. Schools are already finding the need to reassure parents. But can the schools actually reassure parents when the directive is coming not just from the presidency, but action has followed?
No, there's no assurance. I mean, I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother. We've got to be practical and pragmatic about some of these things that, we're looking at today. We knew this was coming. Now, no matter how much you tell me my grandchild or grandson or granddaughter will be safe in class, I can't believe it because we don't know when ICE is coming. It's not like they announced to say tomorrow, we'll be in area A, tomorrow we'll be in area B. They just bounce once they're in, that's it. They pick up who they pick up. So it's really nerve-wracking not knowing. Can you believe that some of them are not even leaving their homes? They're not going even to the stores. They're so scared because they don't know the next car that they're going to pass or the next person they're going to meet is ICE. It's really a travesty because right now there's so much discomfort. It's almost like it's a hide-and-seek game. When are they going to get me? When are they going to get me? There is no assurance that anybody can, I'm speaking for me as Sylvia, there's no assurance that anybody can give me in the schools that my kids will be safe or my grandchildren will be safe. It's just a matter of when. That's what we're waiting for.
Is there any foundation for these actions? Does this policy change violate any existing law, constitutional protection, such as the Fourth Amendment or the Equal Protection Clause?
Yes, well, according to the Fourth Amendment, actually, of the U.S. Constitution, it protects individuals against unreasonable searches and seizures by the government. This protection applies to all, and I'm going to put ALL in capital letters, individuals within the United States, regardless of their immigration status. The amendment ensures that law enforcement must have a warrant or what they call probable cause to search or seize a person or property. However, for the specific protections for undocumented immigrants under the Fourth Amendment can be nuanced. While the Fourth Amendment does provide certain rights, there are limits when it comes to immigration enforcement, because as we can see, our president is setting his own pace with what they can and cannot do.
All right.
So, search and seizure, immigration officers are generally required to follow the Fourth Amendment rights.
All right, Doctor, I'm afraid we have to interject. We're time pressed. I'll just say thank you for speaking with us. We appreciate the insight you've provided on this very complex matter.
Thank you so very much. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for having me.
Glad you're still here. Earlier we told you about the MTN unveiling of Go Make a Difference campaign. We have that report now by my colleague Bernard Akede.
Times, Nigerians are renowned for pushing boundaries and finding innovative ways to turn dreams into reality. MTN Nigeria shares this spirit, striving to empower its customers to rise above challenges and create something extraordinary. This philosophy is at the heart of the Go Mad campaign.
Premised on the idea that MTN data gives you the power to take on the world, to do the extraordinary, and make a meaningful difference.
MTN believes Nigerian chess icon Tunde Onokoya perfectly embodies this concept.
What we are trying to put forward with our campaign is that you can actually make the ordinary extraordinary with MTN data. Now, we have hinged our campaign on Tunde Onakoya's story. And, Tunde's story is quite inspiring, from how he went through, the challenges all the way to success, all the way, to Times Square, and he was able to achieve this by taking advantage of the situations in his environment. Now, what we are urging Nigerians to do is to also, in their little spaces, in the little communities across the country, go make a difference. And we want to assure Nigerians that MTN data is there to work with them, to support them, to go make a difference.
Nothing ever happens by chance.
Tunde's story, marked by setbacks, determination, and eventual success, captures the essence of the Go Mad campaign. His journey, beautifully portrayed in MTN's Checkmate TV commercial, shows how he rose from a humble background with big dreams to breaking records in Times Square, New York, and becoming a global icon.
I grew up in a very small slum community, and at the age of 10, I couldn't go to school anymore. And my parents called me and explained that, see, we only have enough to put food on the table. So I was at home for a couple of years. It wasn't that time I found chess.
The campaign seeks to honor and celebrate Nigerians of all ages and regions who, like Tunde, make a difference in their communities.
And for something as unconventional as chess, who could have ever imagined that it could be something that will be celebrated so globally? And I think, my story is a very personal one. And I think for me, it isn't just about being the best, really. It's about showing that it is indeed possible to do great things from small places. And that is what I think it truly means to be a champion. And MTN has done the good work of highlighting the story, and I hope it goes on to inspire many people.
MTN will take this campaign across all regions and demographics to identify, highlight, and reward individuals who go the extra mile overcoming challenges to achieve extraordinary goals using MTN data. In Lagos for News Central, I'm Bernard Akede.
Growth stories are always celebrated. We'll be back after this short break. Adebola Adedugba joins us now for business stories. How are Nigerians reacting to the proposed 50% hike in telecom subscription, Adebola?
Well, we're learning of the NLC, that's the Nigeria Labour Congress, has vowed to boycott the hike in tariff, accusing lawmakers of prioritizing profit over the welfare of Nigerians. And also, the Consumer Protection Commission in Nigeria has also urged mobile operators to, ensure quality service when it comes to, following this hike in tariff. Details shortly.
Business news in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, has urged telecom operators to improve service quality following a recent 50% tariff hike. FCCPC Director of Corporate Affairs, Mr. Ondaje Ijago, emphasized that consumers want measurable improvements before tariff increases are enacted. Concerns include network congestion, dropped calls, and poor customer service. The FCCPC's Memorandum of Understanding with the NCC reinforces the need for operators to demonstrate tangible service enhancement alongside tariff adjustments. Consumers are encouraged to report unfair practices as the FCCPC and NCC commit to ensuring transparency and accountability in telecommunications sector. Earlier in the day at the World Economic Forum, discussion centered on the green transition, highlighting its potential as unprecedented economic opportunity while also acknowledging the competitive tensions it creates. Now, countries are increasingly focused on protecting and developing their domestic industries and exporting their standards globally. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, Director General of the World Trade Organization, WTO, shared our insight on the global uncertainties surrounding tariffs. South African officials, the world's largest citrus exporter after Spain, have discovered bud rot or grey mold in commercial papaya orchards across Limpopo and in Mpumalanga provinces. These pathogens can devastate thousands of hectares of crops, including pineapple and citrus. The Agriculture Department has initiated a survey to assess the extent of the spread and implemented phytosanitary measures to restrict the movement of affected plants. They urged farmers to adopt effective cultural control practices and warned international travelers against illegally importing agricultural products which could introduce new pests and diseases. And that does it for Business News tonight.
Business news in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
Tunde.
Hello? Yeah? 10, 10, 10, 10, 1, 2, 1, 2.
He can't hear you.
They can't hear me.
You can't hear them.
No, I can't hear them.
Edewo, can you hear? No. Edewo cannot hear. Please go get your guys, your audio guys looking for you. Tell one of the engineers to help you and go back.
Easy, man. Easy.
Pascal is here now. Give Pascal to help you, then go back.
Give Pascal yours. I can hear now.
He can hear now. Lewis Hamilton now on Ferrari after staying on Mercedes for a long time. Tunde Koiki, is that really the case?
Absolutely, and also spending 12 years with Mercedes, becoming familiar with those colors and being a 7-time world champion. We hear that Lewis Hamilton has now become a Ferrari driver, and he took his car out for a first spin today. All that and much more after the break.
Sports Update, brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile.
Hello and welcome to Sports. 7-time Formula One world champion Lewis Hamilton took to the wheels of a Ferrari Formula One car for the first time on Wednesday, thrilling fans at the team's Fiorano test circuit. The Briton, who stunned motorsport world last February by leaving Mercedes after 12 highly successful years, made his much anticipated debut with the iconic Italian team. On a foggy morning in northern Italy, Hamilton roared onto the track near Ferrari's Maranello headquarters, dressed in Ferrari's classic red overalls and sporting his signature yellow helmet. He piloted the car through the wet conditions with characteristic precision. Passionate Ferrari fans braved the rain and gathering to a nearby bridge to watch the legendary driver in his new colors. The new Formula One season starts with the Australian Grand Prix on March the 14th to the 16th. And in Nigeria Premier League football side Rivers United Football Club have cemented their position as one of Africa's elite teams, securing the 26th spot in the latest rankings by the International Federation of Football History and Statistics. Rivers United are the only Nigerian Premier Football League side in Africa's top 30, a testament to the team's consistency on the continent. This ranking covers the period from the 1st of January to the 31st of December 2024. Egyptian trio Al Ahly, Zamalek and Pyramids claim the top 3 positions. Rivers United are currently second in the race for the MPFL title after 19 games. And Nigerian Paralympic bronze medalist Mariam Bolaji made a strong start at the Egypt Para Badminton International 2025, delivering a commanding performance in her opening match. In her first competition in 2025, Bolaji defeated Elizabeth Nabwire in straight sets 21-4, 21-2. Currently ranked 12th in the women's doubles SL3 SU5 category, Bolaji's impressive form has set the tone for a strong tournament, and she will face Egypt's Basma Nabil Fawzi in the next round, aiming to maintain the momentum and, of course, advance further in the competition. And that's all we have on sports tonight.
Sports Update, brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile.
For some entertainment stories now, Adoa joins me in the studio. Adoa, what is this I hear about? Harry?
Yes, Prince Harry is in the news, and he's there because he has received an apology from the British tabloids. Yes, there's been some conversation there going on. And Nigerian singer Adekunle Gold is set to co-produce a Yoruba documentary.
Oh, that's a new one.
That's new. I'll bring you all the details shortly.
Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
All right, now let's go straight into the conversations. As Nigerian singer Adekunle Gold is set to co-produce The Odyssey, a documentary chronicling 100 years of Yoruba music, the Yoruba music history, from its emergence in the 1930s to its influence in today's global Afrobeats. Now, produced by White House Productions, the film features interviews with prominent musicians, prominent promoters, and band members, and it explores the role of Christianity and Islam in shaping the genre as well. Now, organized into a pre- and post-colonial eras, The Odyssey highlights key Yoruba music genres like Shakara, Akbala, Fuji, Juju, Highlife, and Afrobeats. Now, it's aimed at celebrating Yoruba music's cultural legacy while appealing to local and global audience and charting its future growth for the genre. So, Felicity, this is something different, something fresh,
yes,
something
I'm
new.
Nigerian, but I haven't heard of Akbala.
Oh, you haven't?
I was listening as you were saying. So this is a very good thing to educate most of us that are illiterate when it comes to real Nigerian history music.
Yes, yes, and they're looking at doing this to make sure that they can also put this genre out there more on a global stage.
Look forward to it.
Yes, and now let's talk about Prince Harry. Now, the situation going on there, Prince Harry has reached a settlement with Rupert Murdoch's British tabloids. Why was that? That's the news group newspapers over allegations of unlawful information gathering. Yes. Now, the tabloids issued a full apology for phone hacking and surveillance between 1996 and 2011. Now, they also acknowledged the harm it caused Harry and his family, most especially his late mother, Princess Diana. This marks the first public admission of illegal activities by Murdoch's company at The Sun and News of the World. Now, the settlement, finalized before the trial, includes a significant financial payout. Although Harry's team said they're not really interested in the money, they just had to make the statement. Well, that's all we have here on Entertainment tonight.
Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
And that is all tonight. Remember, you can catch up on all the latest stories by watching News Central live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and on YouTube. As always, thank you very much for your kind company. Have a good night rest.